we're ready to create our classrooms. So I'm going to go through multiple things within this slide. I'm going to explain how to use some of the tools within Google Classroom. I'm going to explain how you can add in images. I'm going to talk about removing backgrounds from images. I'm going to talk about sharing the document as well. So you may need to pause, you may want to rewatch, you may want to fast forward, up to you. But here's the information that you need to make this virtual classroom come to life. Your first piece, when you open up your Google slide, you're going to have your text boxes to add in the information here. We don't need these. So when you click on it, it selects it. So this is an important piece to know. When you have those blue lines around your item with the boxes, it means it's selected. You can just delete. So I'm going to select and delete these pieces. So now I have a plain slide. I've already started something just to make this process a little bit faster. I've dragged and resized some images into my slide. So I have a background image. I have an image that I want to use for my flooring. So my background image, again, these white lines will tell, or sorry, the red lines will tell us where our items are. So they're good features just to help guide us. I've found my Bitmoji that I want to put into this particular slide as well, into this classroom. So there's my Bitmoji. I have a desk that I wanted to put into this particular, those are my cacti. So I have my desk too. So when I select, I drag and drop, I have that option there. And I have some plants that I wanted to put in. I've already hyperlinked a website to these plants. So I'll walk you through what that looks like as well. One thing that I want to show you is that when you have an image that you've popped into your virtual classroom, you can see that the border, so this blue border around my image, is bigger than my images. It's actually nice to crop your images so that they are just the size that your image actually is without that transparent background. So when you double click on your image, you get these black bars around your image. You can pull those black bars in so that it's closer to your actual image to help reduce where your boxes are, where those blue boxes are. So that's that. So now my image is a little bit smaller. If I want to resize my image, I can pull the corner. If I pull corners, it keeps the aspect ratio of the image, so I can make it bigger. If I pull the sides, top or bottom, it stretches that image. So know that if you want to keep something's aspect ratio normal, you pull corners. Pulling sides will stretch the image. Okay, so I have my awesome little cacti here. I'm going to make them just a touch smaller. You can resize things to fit tons on your page if you want. And I have linked these. So to link something, you select the image. So click on the image, and then you have the link button here at the top. It also gives you the keyboard shortcut if you want to use the keyboard shortcut. So when you click on it, you just copy and paste whatever the URL is, so wherever it is that you want the people to go, to be able to see that particular image, to interact with it a little bit more. You might do this with books. You might do this with websites or podcasts. If you want to send people to different places, you can insert hyperlinks. All right, my Bitmoji, that was when I selected on my phone and I sent it to my computer. So I sent it via AirDrop to my computer. When I sent it to my computer, however, I needed to remove the background from that Bitmoji because the original Bitmoji has a white background. So if I was to place the original on my classroom, I would see a white background. Let me show you what that actually looks like. I'm going to go to Insert Image, and I am going to upload this one from my computer because that's where it's sitting. So here is my Bitmoji that I shared from my phone. So this is the original one with the white background. And what I did was I went to a website called remove.bg. I also did this with my cactus plants, just as an FYI. This is what they look like before, and then this is what they look like after, so no background on them. So I removed the background from my Bitmoji. And when you have a background removed, it looks like a white and gray checkered background. That's just an indication that it's transparent, and you can place it on top of something else to really get the effect that that item is wherever it is that you want it to go. So when you go to remove.bg, you upload your image and it automatically removes that background for you, and then you download that new image. So here I am in my classroom. I can remove this one, so I can delete this. I can resize this to be bigger or smaller or whatever I want it to be. I might want to add in some text. So if I want to add in a text box, here's my text box within Google Slides. I can draw my text box, and then I can write whatever I want to write. And Google has a ton of different fonts. So feel free to play around with your fonts. There's always more fonts that you can select. So these ones are all web-based fonts. So they won't print well, but they'll look great when you're looking at them on your computer. So you can resize. Of course, you have the option to center if you want to center. You can also hyperlink a text box if you want to hyperlink a text box. And then our big piece is, what does it look like to add in other images that are already saved on your Google Drive or in your Google Drive? I've created a bunch of images. So I have an image folder that's in my Google Drive. So I'm going to go to Insert, Image, and Drive. I'll share these images with you so that you have all of them, but there are a ton of them. So here, there are some stickers. I'm going to open this up, and then I can drag and drop. Here we go. This one seems fitting. I'm going to drag and drop. I'm going to resize. So YOLO, you only live once. I'm going to resize it, dragging the corners so the aspect ratio stays in place. And here's my sticker that I just popped in. Okay, so I've created my background, I've created my foreground, I've added elements that I wanted to add in, I've linked to things that I wanted to link. You can insert videos as well. So if those videos are in your Google Drive, you can insert those videos. You can add all kinds of things. Really, it's just limited to your imagination. I really recommend checking out other people's virtual classrooms to get some inspiration. So again, click on that Twitter bird there and it will give you some inspiration. But now comes the best part. How do you share this with your students? So this is my fiddling spot. So I like to fiddle in here. I like to change in here. This is where I can copy and paste items. But when I'm ready to share this with my students, I need to just share this particular slide. So I'm going to go into File, and I'm going to make a copy of this, which means that they're not linked. So a copy of a presentation means that I'm actually just like copying it. So I'm going to copy just the selected slide. And the selected slide is slide 4 here. It's my YOLO slide. It has the orange box around it, or it's highlighted in yellow. So I'm going to make a copy of this selected slide. When I have done this, I'm going to call it my test virtual classroom, and I'm going to save it in my drive. So this is now saved. Here is my test virtual classroom. It belongs to just me. I haven't shared this with anybody yet. When I'm ready to share this with my class or with other teachers or you guys, I'm going to click on the share button up here in the top right-hand corner. When I do that, there are a couple of things that I need to keep in mind. One, I've created this in my MetaRidge domain. So that means that if I share it with other people within MetaRidge, they have to be logged into their Google account. We're not there yet, so I'm going to click on Advanced, and then I'm going to change the private, and I'm going to select on anyone with the link has access to view it. They do not need to be signed into Google to do this. They can view it without being signed into Google. I'm going to save that. And now I have this URL that I can share with my community, with my students on Seesaw. I can share this link through ManageBack. I can share this link through email. I can post this in Twitter if I want to. This is the link that I'm sharing. So I'm going to copy this link, and then that's it. So I've shared my document, but it doesn't end there. As a student, so we're just going to look at it from a student's perspective here, I'm going to paste that link. So they may have opened it up from their email or from Seesaw. This is what the student sees. So they see a view-only perspective of this. I could have shared my entire slide deck with all of the different slides, but I wanted to keep it simple so they see just the one slide. The link that I had instilled earlier still is there. And this is great because it gives you an option to just really get your kids to click around on the page. So it's like a hyperdoc. So I can click on this. It will take me to that cactus pots plant from Pixabay, which is a great place to get images, by the way. But I can also go back into the teacher view. I can add different things once my kids have it. So let's say I have shared this with them and there's something new that's come up that I really want to share through this particular document. I'm going to add in, maybe there's some stars that I need to add in. Maybe this will link to a website, or maybe this will link to information about the solar system that I want to teach the kids about. That's part of our lesson for the for our at-home learning. I now have the stars in here. I will see that when I log in as a student, those stars are there automatically. So it is live update. So the students will receive everything that I have done. If I have shared the document with them and I'm working in the document that I have shared with them, anything I do in this document, they will be able to see. So that's how you can create your own virtual classroom, how you can link to other places from the virtual classroom, how you can add, how you can resize, how you can remove backgrounds, and how you can share. This is jam-packed full of information, but hopefully some of you will take this step and you will create your own backgrounds or your own classrooms. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. If you have any questions, please ask. It's the best way to find the answers. Take care.